Welcome back to Mining Stock Daily. Ian Wagner here with a corporate update from our friends at Scorpio Gold. Scorpio is a gold developer in Nevada, currently developing the Manhattan Gold District. They have a previously published maiden resource estimate of 740,000 ounces and are looking to grow that to 2 million ounces later this year. They are listed on the TSX Venture under the ticker symbol SGN. And with us today is Zayn, Kalyan, CEO of Scorpio Gold, to talk about new drill results from Manhattan. Zayn, good to see you, and welcome back to the podcast.
Great. No, Ian, thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's jump right into the headline you guys released yesterday. Scorpio Gold drills 40 meters, 40.23 meters, grading 1.02 grams per ton gold in your Black Mammoth target, and that's from 195 meters down. Inside of that, including 2.09 grams per ton gold over 13 meters. This comes on the back of hole 53 that we spoke about a few weeks ago, which returned about 3/4 of a gram over 24 meters. This Black Mammoth target is about 250 meters outside of your current resource pit shell. Just break down kind of what you're seeing there. What does two holes now tell you that one couldn't, and additional drill results, or additional drill planning, or how are you thinking about Black Mammoth right now?
Yeah, so Black Mammoth is really the first, call it, step out from the core resource envelope. We were very fortunate to hit or be able to define mineralization in the Zanzibar trend, which is an entirely new zone. It's effectively a splay off the main resource, but it is still in that same core resource envelope. Now, from our perspective, there's a couple 100,000 ounces of potential high grade opportunity with the Zanzibar trend, and that is where we're focusing one of our drills. But Black Mammoth really is the first true step out, and it's very exciting for us because even from the days when I first saw Manhattan, taken many geologists there over the years on site tours, whether these geologists work for Scorpio or not, and almost everyone gets excited about looking at Black Mammoth because you have so much historic workings across it. It sits right at the highest grade part of our resource, right at the edge of the underground, and it's never been explored modernly. So there's 18 holes on the other side of it, primarily vertical holes, all historic. Nothing had really been drilled in the core opportunity, which is this big black jasperoid ridge structure that sits right at the edge of this resource. And then beyond that, it also sits effectively right at the confluence of the core structure, the Reliance trend, and the Caldera margin. So there's a lot of potential there for mineralization, and very happy that with the first two holes that we drilled there, we were able to hit fairly decent intervals. And it's really enabled us to really focus on that and give us more information to target further holes and be able to build out more inventory on that target.
Two quick follow-ups on that. I mean, hole 57 was pretty deep, right? I want to say that was one of your deepest holes. I think 688 meters. What does that tell you? Seeing those intervals that are 260 meters deep, 290 meters deep, and then also just, are you keeping the drill then right there? I know you have three drills on the ground. Are you keeping one there while one is still in Reliance Trend Zanzibar and another is doing exploration, or how are you
Yeah.
cadencing those?
So, so one thing to note, and I realized after the fact, after we put out that press release, because somebody actually had asked me that after we put the press release out yesterday, and we should have clued into this, is the depth that you see in the hole is not the true depth of the intercept because it was on, I believe that hole was on a minus 45-degree angle. So it was a very long hole. And we had to drill it from a specific place due to permitting. We had to drill it from a patented piece of property, and that was wholly owned private property, and that we own, and we had to drill it from there because of the permitting status. So because of that, it was a very long hole because we were trying to target basically drilling all the way back to the gold wedge side. But that doesn't really represent the true depth of where the intercept is. And I think that's probably, we need to do a little bit better job on communication of that and fully concede that. But I think as we move forward and further put up more results on Black Mammoth, we'll definitely be more conscious of ensuring that it's communicated that, yeah, well, you may see the intercept at plus 200 meters. That doesn't necessarily mean it's at a 200-meter depth. It's actually probably
Got it.
quite a bit higher than that.
Right. Okay. And so, are you keeping sort of the drill there? Are there further holes or assays pending on Black Mammoth?
Yeah, so there's one hole. The third hole. I actually just had a conversation with the geology team this morning. That's being shipped off tomorrow, So it's the third Black Mammoth hole, and then there are four more holes already planned. One of which is already being drilled. So we're just going to continue to have one drill focus on that area. The more information, the more data that we get from these holes, it allows us to be more efficient in how we target them. We're also, because of the permitting status of our underground, which is fully permitted, and we are in the process of planning some holes to drill black mammoth from the underground as well, which can be very cost effective. Also allow us to get closer to the targets in those areas. So that is work that's being done now. We've modeled a couple. I think we've modeled maybe 6 or 7 holes already. There's a little bit of work that we have to do to kind of get the underground fully accessible and get in there, but it does remain fully permitted, and we are able to leverage it. So that is work that we're doing today, and just figuring all that out. But I would hope that by the end of the year we have an underground drill going there as well, and we're starting to kind of further build out the Black Mammoth resource with some underground drilling.
Yeah, I just want to one last question on Black Mammoth before we pivot, just because there is a nice quote there from Harrison, your VP of exploration, that says that it might be favorable, with additional drilling to sort of that 1 million ounce target. Is that news? Is that a surprise, or is that sort of how you guys have been thinking about this all along?
Yeah, like obviously with any of this, it's all potential. It's all blue sky. Like we're obviously projecting what we believe is the opportunity with each of these targets. What I'd say is the first time I ever went to Manhattan, I was with a fairly respected geologist, and he looked at that ridge and he said, "I bet you that's a 1 million ounce target." And I've had multiple people tell me that before. So I think we're fairly convicted that it's a very big opportunity, especially given its proximity to the underground, where it sits right at the edge of the core resource envelope. It has a lot of potential for call it district scale expansion. And the fact that it's so close is great, right? Because we can model that into our existing pit model as we further build out the resource. And it's not as big a step out as called Keystone Jumbo, which are quite a bit further to the south.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at your guys' property map, right? Black Mammoth's at that north, and Gold Wedge, a little bit 250 meters to there, and then right below that, the Zanzibar trend and Reliance trend. So obviously a lot of opportunity in there. I want to quickly touch base about the other drill results from the news release down at Iron Queen, which is I think on your southern part of your map. Hole 56, 2.13 grams per ton over 4.9 meters at Iron Queen, and hole 58, 4.29 grams per ton gold over 3.5 meters from 64 meters. We have not talked about Iron Queen at all this year, and I want to say it sort of makes, I want to say, 7 or 8 targets, right, that you guys have been drilling this year, and so just sort of give listeners an understanding of how that fits into the overall exploration effort.
Yeah, so Iron Queen is at the furthest south end of our resource. It is an area that was historically part of the Manhattan mine. We don't have a lot of data about it. There are a couple holes there, but it's a pretty interesting target, just given that there is historic mining there, and it's at the edge of a number of historic holes related to the historic mine, Manhattan. So it is a priority one target. I think we just need to get a better structural understanding of what's happening there. So getting mineralization in these initial holes that we've drilled down there is great, because it does show that okay, this is part of a system, and that there is further follow up necessary here. It is lower grade given some of the data that we've seen thus far, but still does have the opportunity to add ounces, and it is a very, call it, interesting area for us, and we're going to continue to do more exploration there.
Great. Well, shifting, it's now April 2nd, start of Q2. You guys have always been pretty clear about your goal to get to that 2 million ounce mark. Like, how do you feel about your progress so far? And then also, where do you want to be at the end of Q2? When we talk at the end of June, kind of what metrics of success?
Yeah, so end of Q2, I think we given everything that we've done thus far, we're fairly on track with our drilling targets in terms of meterage. I think we had a little bit of a slow start to the year, just in terms of getting caught up on a lot of holes and assays that were there was a little bit of backlog that kind of we ended the year with. We're fully through that now. I believe we have 11 holes in the lab currently, so we should be getting a fairly big batch here over the next couple weeks. Of assays, which is great. Just continuing to deliver those results to the market on the same cadence that we have. Like, I think we've been pretty good since the beginning of the year. I think we've had a press release with drill results at least every 2 weeks, and I think we want to keep that process going. Ultimately, I hope that we're in a better gold environment. Market wise, it is pretty tough, just given the war and they'll call it macroeconomic factors that are out of our control. But at the same time, I think gold has definitely shown resilience, and I think ultimately we'll continue to see that bull case continue to play out. So not too worried about that, but I'd say that by the end of Q2, I think we just want to be in a place where we're continuing to build ounces, continuing to deliver results to the market. Hopefully, closer, get our valuation in the market closer to where we truly believe it is. We do have this NASDAQ listing forthcoming as well, which is particularly exciting. So I think we're hopefully going to be able to deliver some news to the market on that in the coming weeks. And yeah, that's ultimately what we can hope for. Zanzibar trend, we didn't talk too much about Zanzibar trend, but Zanzibar trend is also an area where we were very fortunate to hit that high grade mineralization just over a month ago. Going to be we have a drill continuing to follow up on that zone, and we'll have results from there. So Black Mammoth, Zanzibar, and then one drill just continuing to build ounces in the core resource envelope, and that's ultimately the plan.
Drill, baby, drill is the theme right now for you guys.
For sure.
Awesome. Well, we'll keep it there, short and sweet for today. Appreciate the time, Zayn, and we'll catch up with you as new drill results come back. That is Zayn Kalyan, CEO of Scorpio Gold. They trade on the TSX Venture at SGN and potentially the NASDAQ sometime soon. Thanks so much, Zayn.
Thank you.
The information presented should not be considered investment advice. Mining Stock Daily and its affiliates are not responsible for any loss arising from any investment decision in connection with the material presented herein. Please do your own research or speak with a licensed financial representative before making any investment decisions.